of us vow. It can get so overwhelming to live in the now. There's always
Hello, welcome to the Great Rehumanization. This is going to be one of those from the heart little talks. That's something that came to me while I was washing the dishes one time. You'll hear it as the theme for the show. It's called This Precious Existence. Anyway, this precious existence, we do not want to take it for granted. What I want to talk about today is we have our human condition, all right? And we have our problems, and there might be some solutions, but what we need to do is really look not necessarily for solutions. We have more of them than we could ever possibly imagine already. But in terms of wisdom, that is a gift that we've always had, and we don't use it. We don't have any gratitude for receiving it, but it is everywhere in our history from day one. So, let's see if we can be wise as serpents and harmless as doves and talk about some important things once again. From the heart, with a serious mind. Now, a lot of the dehumanization we do, a lot of the dehumanizing of each other we do is done in the political arena. And in politics, it's pretty obvious why we do it. It's the easiest way that we can say we're right. You're evil, you're so wrong that you're evil, and I can do whatever I want to you because of that reason. That's how much better my politics are than yours. They make me a better person than you. They prove that I'm a better person, and now I have every excuse to even kill you so that I can have my way politically. It makes things really convenient. But as I've said before, it has never led to anything good, and in fact, it costs us our souls. So let's get into the politics here and why you shouldn't let politics manipulate you, and how it does. Well, we're all looking for identity, right? And if you don't have a strong sense of identity, grounded in, an ethical system, a set of principles, an idea of what strong character means that you stick with, standards. If you don't have a place that you come from, if you don't have a real, genuine belief, if you don't have a solid identity, a core, a center of gravity, you're going to be looking for one, right? So what politics does is it gives us that identity. And then people take their political views and they really believe, we really start to believe, I don't want to do the they thing. We really start to believe that that's who we are. I am a Democrat. I am a Republican. I am MAGA. You are not a patriot. You don't love this country. I do. We start to really think that these parts of us are our very self, the essence of who we are. We do that because we're so lost. It's so much easier to just absorb a political identity. It's so catastrophic, though. But it's also so deeply dishonest. And I'll tell you why. Because if you tell me where you're from, just tell me where you were born, I have a really good chance at telling you what your political identity is, and that means I know everything about you already, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean I know who you are. It doesn't mean I know your struggles. It doesn't mean I know what you've been through. It doesn't mean I know your heart. It doesn't mean I know your prayers. It doesn't mean I know your relationship with God. It doesn't mean I know anything about you, really. Then why do we act like it does? Because it's easy. So again, let me say that again. If you tell me where you're from, I can guess what your politics are. with a high degree of accuracy. Now tell me again that all of those things make you who you are. See what I'm saying? I think anybody, if they stop and think about it, would. Okay? Politics gives us this illusion that we are somebody who we are not. You are not the political candidate that you support. You are you. If you don't want people to assume that they know every single inner working that makes you you, then don't play the game the way we're playing it. You see what I mean? I have a lot to say about this because it's really damaging, and we've been doing it throughout history, and only to the advantage of those who want to manipulate us. It's so circumstantial. So I don't care what side of the politics you're on. If you think somebody is so badly informed because they don't know what you do, then be gentle and help them understand, even if it's impossible. Because you want to know what? They're probably not badly informed, right? They were just born somewhere, and it's not their fault. Do you see? Our politics are things that are handed to us by our parents, mostly, by the people we grew up with, the immediate people. It's so circumstantial. Like where you were born. You know, I always hear the story about people who had one political view for a long time, and then they go off into the world, and then they see things, and then they change their political view. Well, guess what? Whether that becomes a more conservative or a more liberal, progressive, or whatever outlook that may be, you had one when you were around a certain amount of people, and certain types of people in a certain setting, and then you left and went out in the world, and then another one came to you. Do you see how that works? It's all about where you go, what position you're in, and we can't play this thing like, no, you know, I was born here, God wanted me here, so God wanted me to be this, so this is what I'm supposed to be, so yeah, I'm right and you're wrong. No, because we're put in situations all the time to learn, to be challenged, to be more fully human. That's what God does. That's the God I believe in. You don't know God's intentions on that level, that like every place you go is because you already know why God put you there. No, maybe there's a lesson there that God put you in there so that you could learn from somebody else, so that you could have some disillusionment sown into you, so that you can look and all of a sudden see the world differently. I just made a video, and I'm going to make a more specific one about, you know, just kind of the way Jesus is telling us to see the world and the way we see it. And the perfect one is that story about the sheep. How a real shepherd, a good shepherd, will go and leave 100 sheep to go find one. When human beings don't think like that, we think, if I get up and I walk away from my 100 sheep, my 99 sheep that are in front of me to go look for just one that went away, what if something comes and happens to another one? Then I'll lose all my sheep if I keep getting up looking for them. No. You will definitely lose all your sheep if you don't keep getting up and looking after one. This is to say that we don't see things with wisdom. Okay? We see things in terms of what works best for us in that moment, and then how do we manipulate it? What's the least amount of work? What are we going to do? No, it comes down to courage. All right? It comes down to really understanding, man, I don't know who I am. I'm trying to figure it out. So is this next guy that I disagree with so vehemently. And maybe I would see the same things he's saying if I was in his shoes, if I was born that way. You know, really, these are like these political opinions that we have. Some of them are so superficial. There's no gravity there at all. There's no real center to it at all. And I'm going to get into that too, but I just want to leave it there right now. Have grace. Understand that the political divide, even the terms left and right, these go back to, pre-revolutionary France, the 18th century, when the conservative establishment sat to the right of the king, and the more common man were to the left and right. It's just, these are just terms that are mostly used to manipulate us. And if you think, or I think, that it's really who I am, we've got it so twisted that we just can't see anymore. You know, we're hurting each other for the wrong reasons and not being honest about those reasons. We're not being honest, okay? The truth is, we haven't thought about it that much. It's just easier not to. So, there's no solution outside of love. I'll keep saying that. God be with everyone. Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And watch that dehumanizing. Don't do it. We're all human beings made in the Lord's image. If you don't believe that, find an ethical system that shows you that. Because it will. It's just logic. Peace and love.
Choices, some of us vow. It can get so overwhelming to live in the now. There's always a case for resistance. We must embrace this precious existence. But we need to belong. We must accept each other, or we'll never get along. Our relationships take persistence to get the most of our precious existence. It's okay to stray. We're gonna make it back. We're gonna find our way. But it all depends on our insistence. Never forsake this precious existence.